jump in this thing and see what it'll do.
You ready to rock this, bro?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. More progress on the GTX. Well, I forgot to, well, it echoes in here, huh? Anyway, I forgot to record doing all this, the prep work and everything, but anyways, all I did was cut the old floor out. Nothing really special, just drill out the spot welds here and there, and then on the front, you cut it out and drill them out, and then I didn't actually cut that like that. That's part of the 4-speed hump. Some of that cut is a original 4-speed hump cut, and the rest of it is what I had cut out. So from about that point over and about here over is what I had cut. The rest of that's all original 4-speed hump. That's going to be my butt line, where I'm going to butt them together and weld them up. Okay, yeah, I also need to do the copper weld through primer on all of this. And then what I also did was, on the floor patch, I just bring it out here and cut it. I gotta cut this real quick. Basically, we laid the floor patch, or I laid the floor patch over what we had cut out, and then I draw the line of where the outside edge of the frame rail is. That way I know where to drill my holes. And so I need to cut that line right there. That way this section here is just gonna get removed. It's just gonna get cut off. Because then this will butt to the original floor, which I'll have that long line to weld up. Which is not as bad as doing a complete floor half, because then you have an entire half to weld up. But yeah, all the holes are drilled. So this sucker's ready to go on. I just need to cut that line. And yeah, weld her up. Got Mike's floor screwed to here. I should have just laid this thing over here and then cut the line. That way it'll be, actually that's not too bad actually, that's actually really good. I'm just going to cut the line right here, just so it cuts in the sheet metal. And I'm going to cut that line right there, then I'll lift it up just a hair and pull that piece out. So that way I can just butt joint all the way around. Well, it's only going to butt joint on two sides, here and then that side. That's going to overlap, and then that's just going to plug weld to the flange. What you got going on there, Walter?
Making some poster board cutouts.
Yeah? Doing some hacking or what?
We're doing some hacking, man.
Yeah.
Grooming. Hacking and grooming.
Fixing all that Swiss cheese in there.
Yep, yep, we're fixing up some rockabilly shit here, baby.
Alright, this is what I've got going on right now. I just did this floor patch. It's all butt welded, so then when I grind that down, that weld down, it'll be perfectly flat. But I'm working on the 4-speed hump right now. This is the original hump that came out of this car. It's all cleaned up and ready to go. So I already cut the new floor to shape to fit this. It's all prepped, ready to go. Ready to lay some beads on this sucker. So I'm going to get the welder and get ready on that. Alright, working on the GTX. This right here was slide hammered to shit. You see all the holes that were in it? That was where somebody had, because this whole pocket here is sealed up. See, this is what originally went there. So, how's this thing go? Oh yeah, it goes like this. Alright. So that whole pocket right there is sealed up, so you can't even get to it. Actually, dang it. Goes like that. Alright. So yeah. So this whole thing is welded up in there, and you can't get to any of that on the inside of the fender. So, I've drilled out the spot weld here, and then so that way I can get to this area so I can hammer dolly it all out. See, another reason ratty cars are cool, they make shelves. Yeah, just hammer dolly the whole thing out, just beat on it with the dolly on the back side, and switch over and go back to this side, then you feel it, and then it gets to where it feels pretty good. And then, but now I've got some rust repair I gotta do this thing. Is right here, this was all Bondo. So see all that Swiss cheesiness? Yep. So I'm having to make a patch piece so I can fix that. So I'll get the poster board out and I'll draw that out where it needs to sit. I left the ear there so I know, so this stays where it's supposed to be. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and make a template right now so I can draw all that out. And then I'll just go ahead and copy it in sheet metal. Sounds simple enough, right? And then right here, there's some more Swiss cheese. You can see all that in there. So basically the same thing. This one's actually kind of easy because it's a flat surface. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this all out. And then I'll just replace that with sheet metal. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get on it. All right, got the patch piece all shaped and ready to go. I kind of cut some of the lines a hair too big, but there's no big deal. When I stick the copper back behind there and weld it up, doesn't matter anyway. So, yep. Start welding, ready to go. Work it, Walter, work it.
Work.
All right, back on the GTX today. It's freaking hot. It's gonna be like 112 today. And you see the sun line is creeping up on me. So the sun's going that way. So here in about an hour, I'm screwed. I ordered a new top, but I won't be here for probably a couple days, so it is what it is. So I'm trying to get as much done as I can before it gets smoldering hot in the sun. But yeah, yesterday, or well, the day before, got the headlight pocket removed. That way we can pound all the dents out that were, because with the headlight pocket in here, you can't get to the back side of the dents to pull them out. And yeah, you could do this whole slide hammer thing, but shit, I mean, there's not that many spot welds that hold the thing in. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's like 17 spot welds. So it'll take you like 5 minutes to drill it out, and then pound the thing out the correct way, then weld the sucker back in, and while it's out, then you can go ahead and seal this whole area that won't actually get epoxy in there. Because when you're spraying it, you'll get a little bit of epoxy to fog in, but it actually won't fill it. So that's all sealed up. And then same thing with the back side. Sprayed some epoxy on the back side of this. So that way that's protected. Well, time to get to work. Less talking and more working, because the clock is ticking on the sun line. Well, now I gotta fix this thing. This Swiss cheese trunk lid. This is for Mike's GTX as well. I know, before you even say it, we have already tried to find a replacement trunk lid. We've looked at several. They were all just as bad as this one. And this one didn't even look that bad until you blasted it. So you take those other ones, blast it, probably get the same damn thing. So, got a whole bunch of little pinholes here, which I'll see what I'm going to do with that. I might just weld that up. But this side here, this track, definitely gone. So, I think what I'm gonna have to try and duplicate this side to that side. I got a little paper template here that I just quickly made, just to kind of give me a rough idea of how much material how much metal I'm gonna need. So, roughly about that much. Actually, it's this one here, because I misjudged my number a little bit. So yeah, about that much. So I'm going to cut that much out of this junk, get to shaping it, and try and get it to patch that. See how it goes. Still working on this old turd bucket trunk lid for the 70 GTX. So I'm having to cut more rust out of it. Here, I have to cut, there was a pretty good rotted area there. And also right here. Oop, it's still wet. Had to cut a big chunk out of there. These little pinholes here, I'm just gonna fill those with the welds and grind them down. Yeah, that'd be no big deal. And then this is actually the patch I had to do on the inside. So I had to replace this whole corner there on the inside. And so once I get that filled in, and that one filled in, I start doing some grinding on this thing. Take the fenders, go get them epoxied, and get the body on the GTX put back together. Because that body, right now, well, as soon as I get the other canopy here, which will be here in a couple days, but this freaking thing is tearing up car covers. Ah, hate it. But with the summer, with the summers in Vegas, we get these monsoons that'll just show up and dump rain for a couple minutes, and then it's just humid as shit and gone and hot. So really want that cover to show up now versus Friday, because today is only Tuesday. Well, enough bitching. Get back to welding. Yeah, let me get to it. Got my patches cut out, getting ready to weld them in. Here's the other one right here. I just tack weld a little piece of scrap to it, that way I can just kind of use it to hold it, move it around, whatever. So that's gonna fit in there right like so. So, time to get to tacking. Sweet. Move on to the next one now. Man, even in the shade, my phone is already in overheat mode. Freaking ridiculous. I think it's only like 108 right now, but it's gonna be like 114 by the end of the day. Well, on to the next hole. Sweet. 70 GTX starting to look like a car again. Got the upper grille support, the valence, got the fenders, the hood, all that's mounted. I need to get the strikers on here and the latches so that way I can start getting all that test fitted. We're gonna start doing body work this thing here pretty soon. But kind of the main reason I'm making this video at the moment is I always forget to record stuff. Like I didn't get none of the video of putting the body panels on the front. I just kind of start picking up tools and start doing shit. This corner here, the reason I'm mentioning it is that fits good here, but right here it kind of had a crown, like a peak. So in order to fix that, because it also was, see it sticking out right here? Well, it was worse until I relieved it, but this part of the quarter panel was too far back. It like peaked this way, right in the middle, right here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm cutting some material out on all three sides, or all three, hell, I don't know what the hell to call it. All three, or two sides and right here. That way I can shrink this down, weld it up, so that way it follows the contour of this. Because even though it's not really a huge deal, I don't know, it'll just bug me. So, screw it, fix it, cut it, weld it, done. And then, this side here, it's not terrible, but I'm going to do a little, see it has a little bit of a peak there, so I have a little silver line there. I'm just going to cut that, kind of squish that down a little bit, weld it up. But yeah, well, you see there's a little bit of piece of tape right here, there's epoxy underneath that, because there was a hole. There was a rotted hole in the aluminum, so drilled it out, carved it out, scuffed it up, put some epoxy there, so that should be good. Geez, it's still freaking hot. Well, get back to sweating my ass off. Slaving away, Walter?
Yep.
That's good. Walter's working on the GTX, getting all the body work done. Walter,
What?
tell us about yourself.
Tell us about myself. What's the tell?
How'd you get into bodywork?
Oh, my buddy did it in the shop, and when I was time off with heavy equipment, I just started to learn for like 40 bucks a week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
40 bucks a week?
Yeah, that's all he paid me. I was getting unemployment, so I didn't care. To teach me how to do it.
Alright, your real name's not Walter. Your real name is Paul. How did you get the name Walter?
Working in a company with 3 Pauls.
And how did you get designated Walter?
I don't know, one of the superintendents just designated it, thought it was a good name. Driving a water truck.
You look like a Walter?
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, Walter's slaving away on here. Doing a good job. While I'm doing the Camaro. So, this car was brought to me needing a whole, actually, they had like Mickey Mouse put the car together, just with the trunk pan and the quarter on it and the rear frame rails and all that. But none of it was actually fitted correctly, and none of it was actually prepped ready for all that. So I had to tear it all down, clean everything up. You know, they still had some of the original quarter panel here, some of the original quarter panel there. So I had to clean up the wheel wells. I still got to weld these cracks here. Whole bunch of work. It took a lot to actually get the frame rails to fit to the trunk pan. So now those are on there. They're screwed in place a few times, or in a few places. You see, everything's prepped. Everywhere the welds are going to be, everything is already copper sprayed, or primer, weld through copper primer done there. Just need to get everything test fitted before I actually weld the car together. So the whole car is going to be screwed together before I actually even weld anything. That way I know everything fits right, and if I need to adjust something, move it, twist it, wedge it, cut, shorten, widen, I can do all that and just unscrew the piece and then do what I need to do and then weld it on. Yeah, move back to work. 1970 4-speed air grabber super track pack GTX 410 Dana, gold interior, gold stripe, black vinyl top, numbers matching motor. Actually, I think all the drivetrain in this thing's numbers matching. But just rolled this out of the paint booth. Actually, I painted it last night, just rolled it out this morning, and this thing hurts your eyes to look at it. This is actually stone white, the original color, but I added white pearl to it. The video does not capture the pearl. I mean, this thing, when you're looking at it, you have to squint your eyes, because this thing is just reflects so much. It looks so good. But sadly, the video does not capture that. Everything's painted underneath. Even the wheel wells, rhino linered. Oh, this thing looks so good. Bam! I'm helping push. I'm helping push with my eyes. Hey, your toes off a little bit. I can hear the tires. Dang, Walter, your ass ain't hanging out this time. There she sits. Still not done. Oh, man, that was all filmed like a year. Actually, some of it was probably over a year ago. And it was done with really shitty GoPros. I mean, they were just shaking, and I watched the video myself when I was editing it, and I was like, man, those GoPros suck. And I had probably lost some footage and a lot of pictures and some videos on my phone. I just tried to cobble together everything I had on it so I can get this video done for this car. So I did lose a lot of footage, especially in the paint booth. I had some cool footage of the car being painted and all that, but it's gone. Don't know where it went. Probably lost that SD card too. I suck. But he does have, this is all original numbers matching car. This is a real 70 GTX air grabber 4-speed super track pack 410 Dana, gold interior, has the gold reflective stripe, black vinyl top. This is a pretty bitchin' car. But it will be done later. He's got the original motor for it sitting over here, and the motor needs to be rebuilt because last time I drove it, it ran like it was on 5 cylinders. Here's the motor. So this is the numbers matching motor, right? Yeah. Oh, The transmission is still attached to it. So that is the Hemi 18 spline 4-speed. The Dana is somewhere around here. I don't know where the Dana's at. But again, thanks for watching, guys. I was just kind of showing you where this car's sitting. This car hasn't been sitting here a year. This car, that footage of building the car and all that, that was a year ago. So this car's only been sitting here, I think we grabbed it in July. Yeah, I think we grabbed it in July, so it hasn't been sitting here too long. 3-4 months maybe. But this car is on the to-do list, but he's also got his General Lee he wants to finish with a modern Hemi 6-speed, and then he's also got a 69 Super B that he's building with a 5.7 supercharged. So this is on the to-do list, just not at the moment. So I'm probably moving around too much, huh, guys? I have a problem with that. All right, well, enough jibber jabber. I need to get on the road, get my butt home, so I can get back to building some cars, doing some racing, and having fun. We just finished yanking the motor out of the Rotbox 68 Charger that we pulled from Canada. So this had a 426 wedge in it. The motor in the General Lee, my General Lee, is clapped out. It smokes so bad. But we're gonna take that clapped out motor and we're gonna stuff it in Freiburger's C-Body Roadrunner and try and make the next roadkill hoopty challenge with it. So that'd be kind of fun. Yeah, we gotta build this one. So anyways, I'll holler at you guys later. Thanks for watching. See ya.